That's not you. What you are the person who's learned from a great deal of experience.
Keep moving. Use it as fuel. Say never again. I get what I did wrong, but don't think that you're that person that made those mistakes. You're the person who's learned, and to have that attitude is a really important thing. And to not say, why am I doing this now? I could have been doing this my whole life. Well, you weren't. So is that going to help?
Yeah.
You gotta not think like that. You just gotta be happy you're doing it now. Being on it isn't even always about success. Being on it is about learning. And sometimes learning comes from failure. And failure is one of the best teachers. Failing and getting right back up and figuring out why you failed. And then next time, try to do better. That's being on it too. It's not just about always being this unstoppable winner who's better at everything than everybody else. Nope. It's about doing your best all the time. We all go through hard times. We all go through depression. We all go through doubt and moments in your life where it's really difficult and you're trying to figure out what your path is going to be. It's hard as shit. But that is what makes you a person. And those difficult moments are what build your character. There's people out there that are just working harder than everybody else, and they're going to keep doing it. And that's their grind, and those people are super valuable. Those people are so valuable. The Marvin Haglers of the world, the Rocky Marcianos of the world, like those are very, very valuable people.
Yeah.
Because they change everybody's perspective of like what's possible, what to strive for, and what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you really want to be a champion? Why? Because you just want to be cool? You want to be the coolest guy on the block? Like, you're not going to win. You're going to find some psychopath who just lives it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's their whole life. And if it's not your whole life, get out. Things that people always look for in life, they look for a point where they can rest. They love the idea of a struggle as long as it ends, and then when it ends, they're going to have a nice, comfortable spot.
It must end.
Yeah,
the suffering must end.
Yeah, you should relax, man. You've done so much.
That's right.
You've really done so much. But the idea of reaching this golden year it's a very flawed idea, because it's an idea that you're gonna work hard, but then you're gonna reach the finish line. But there's no finish line.
No.
It doesn't exist. The real message is we all started from nowhere. I mean, we all had bullshit jobs. We all felt like losers. But through time and effort, you build a stronger human. You build a stronger body. You build a stronger mind. You build accomplishments and will and momentum. And then you look back and you go, hey man, I'm not washing tables anymore. I'm not washing dishes. I'm not cutting lawns. I'm not digging ditches.
Yeah.
I'm a different person now. And there's a lot of people out there listening to this. There's so many people that are in that starting point. Like the people that come up to you and say, I don't know what to do. What should I do? How do I do it?
Yeah.
How do I get going? But you're going to have to figure it out, one foot in front of the other.
Exactly.
You're going to have to find a thing and keep working at it and get better at it.
You're not a hero in your own eyes. You're not someone who you respect. You're doing what you got to do to get by, but ultimately you're not respecting yourself. And I think we all have a certain amount of appreciation and respect for hero figures. Like we all look at like the guy who never lies and always does the right thing and helps everybody out. And that's the John Wayne character. That's the ultimate hero.
Most people, their associations are to avoid anything that's uncomfortable. But it's so illogical, because when you look at comfort and you look at success and progress and the feelings of accomplishment and of getting past certain hurdles in terms of like how you feel about life, a lot of those are connected to discomfort. Like discomfort is your friend. It really is. Like discomfort, not being happy and content with certain situations in life or certain feelings in life. They're massive motivators, and they're amazing at facilitating change. Instinct is to avoid those and just sit on the couch and watch some reality show about dudes who make moonshine. Well, when I was 21 and I was first starting to do comedy, that's when I was really devouring as much of it as possible, because I was trying to figure out like how to not be so lazy, how to be motivated, how to get done, how to like find the correct path and think about things correctly. I would follow all this personal power, like you have workshops that you would do, like little like notebooks and fill out and things to talk about and things to concentrate on. Like if you did do it, it would help you. But really what it's all about is just getting together and moving. Just go do something. Just doing it. Just doing it makes you do more. Like do more hard makes you do more hard Yeah. Understand that you want it bad, so you're willing to put in the work and do things you don't want to do. It's what makes you have that confidence that you know how to push through. And the mentality that I'm the type of dude to get done. Like, I'm not going to waste my day just sitting around a hotel room. No, I'm going to go to work. That's what I feel like is missing from a lot of people that are getting into motivational this, motivational that. They ain't doing shit. You got to go do something. That's the number one thing, right? It's fucking action. Take action.
Well, it's the uncomfortable feeling that people associate with losing. When they've personally experienced it, they look at losing as they've been oppressed or they've been hurt. But what they don't understand is that is the motivation for growth. And one of the most beautiful things that I think a young person can get involved in is martial arts, because martial arts teach you that in a way that very few things do. They teach you it in especially jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is so complex and there's so many possibilities to it that it attracts a lot of really smart people. If you think of jiu-jitsu, you would think of like brutish individuals engaging in this hard martial art. If you go to a real good jiu-jitsu school, you see nerds. Mm-hmm. You see a bunch of like really smart kids that really get obsessed with the possibilities of this physical language. This physical language also teaches you the consequences of not working hard, of not being prepared, of not understanding positions, of not doing due diligence and doing the work. There's consequences that you pay to constantly seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort and avoiding hard work. And those consequences are you're never going to feel self-realized. You're never going to feel like you accomplished anything. You're never going to have this feeling of understanding that difficulty and struggle and the ability to push through that is a muscle. And you develop that muscle by doing it. And once you do, you develop a lot of self-satisfaction and you develop peace of mind and you understand that you can overcome obstacles. If you don't have to overcome obstacles, you never know whether or not you can. Unless you are faced with actual adversity, you don't understand how you're going to feel and how you're going to react when you overcome that adversity. If you want to be really great at something, you kind of have to be out of your mind, but you also have to have an iron will. You don't want to work out every day.
Yeah.
There's going to be days you just want to eat cake and sleep.
Yeah.
But if you want to get past the guy who eats cake and sleeps, you don't eat cake and you don't sleep. You are not your past. You're you. You're you right now. Like the past you did, you might have done some things you wish you hadn't done. Don't dwell on that. You learn from it, that's fine, but don't dwell on it. Just keep moving. Things that are difficult, when you do these difficult things, you're stressing your mind, or I should say, it's not even stressing your mind, exercising your mind and exercising your body's ability to manage intense situations. It's hard. It's very difficult. It's very testing. And in doing so, you lessen the stress of regular life. The more stressful situations that I experience, the more I understand what they are and the more I can relax. But it's also like a matter of constantly being exposed to these stressful situations where there's not a long break in between doing stand-up or a long break in between martial arts training where to the point where anxiety can build up. And then once you get into it, it's almost an unusual situation instead of a usual one. Your life is certainly some sort of a journey. It's certainly some sort of a journey. And we have to all be aware that when we're making journeys, we're not going to always make the right steps. And sometimes you have to back up and try again. And if you're in a position where you can't back up and try again, you've trapped yourself. And the system will set out honeypots for people to get trapped in. The system will set out the ideas of retirement, the ideas of the golden years, providing you benefits, providing you a healthy work environment. Why? Well, because they want people to work for them. They don't want people to realize their own dreams and escape. And that's a fucking pain in the ass. So you got to hire more people and train them. And they want to set it up so that you stick around. Stick around in some sort of an unsatisfying world. It's up to you to see that video game problem, to see that issue as it comes up on the map. And no, I think this is a right turn. To see all the problems that could potentially lay in front of you and calculate your future. And then also look around all the people that didn't do it and look at the misery that they're in and learn that you don't want to be like them. And then look at the people that have kind of taken chances and navigated their way. What did they do differently than you? What objectivity do they have that maybe you lack? What insight into their own mistakes are they willing to delve into that you're not, that you step back and you go, I just don't want to look at myself that closely. But the person who's able to look at themselves the closest is going to get the more rational results.
Everybody's got these stupid barriers they put in their own head. You got to resist those goddamn things because they don't do you any good, and they certainly define the potential for your future in a negative way that's not self-serving and it's not even real. You know, you put this artificial ceiling on the potential for what you're doing. If you hit a wall, okay, that just means you need to regroup and rethink. It doesn't mean that wall's there, especially when it comes to something like social media or like a podcast, something where you're putting out a piece of art. You're putting out something that you've created. There's no wall as far as like how many people are going to enjoy it or how far it's going to go. It's just, it is what it is. And if people don't like it, make it better. If they like it less, fix that. Figure out a way to do it. You can do that. And this idea that there's no way to get past the starting block today is just ludicrous. It's crazy. And it's just this poor thinking.
Difficult things are good for you, and they're good for your mind. That's what people don't understand that don't pursue them. Your motivation. Motivation. You need discipline because motivation's not there every day. I'm missing motivation most days.
Wow,
Some
really?
days, yeah. Sometimes I got motivation. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, today I felt good. I can't wait to get to the gym. But a lot of days, like, gotta get to the gym. And then once I get going, then I feel great.
Yeah.
And I feel great when it's over. But it's that beginning part that's hard because your body wants to stay comfortable. If you are constantly dwelling on other people's opinions, if you're constantly dwelling on other people's success, it will 100% diminish your capability of doing good work. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it because the mind has a certain amount of bandwidth. And the way I always express this when I talk to people about it, I go, look at it like a number. If you had 100 bandwidth, like if your bandwidth was 100, and then someone said something mean to you on Twitter, and you read that and responded, and you're going back and forth, now how much do you have? I bet you got about 30 is gone. 30% is just dedicated to this thing. It might be 40. You might have 4. And now what happens? Now, whatever work you are actually trying to do is greatly diminished because you don't have the focus. Look, there's a lot of ways you could look at bad events. You could say a bad event is just who you are, and you just have bad events, and you're a loser, and life hates you, and God hates you, and oh, look at that, happening to Mike again. Can't believe it. There's a lot of guys who go through life like that. And, you know, they can say that they seek comfort in lowering the standards that they expect out of things. So when things go bad and they say, well, I knew it, for them, it like alleviates some concern about what's going to happen in the future because the future is always dog shit.
There's a bunch of people that will say, yeah, well, I have a family, so, you know, it's a great idea for you to just go out there and go crazy. I have people to support. You need to listen. Stop saying that. Stop saying any of those things. Every single person who has ever done anything worthwhile or exceptional or difficult or extraordinary, anyone, whether it's great artists or authors or mathematicians or whatever the it is, everyone encounters difficulties. There is no easy road. It does not exist. It is impossible. Everyone has issues. If you have time to pursue a hobby, if you have time to do anything in your life, you can better yourself. And here's one way you never better yourself. When you come up with excuses for why other people are successful and you're not. That shit is fucking dangerous. When you give yourself an escape. Yeah, well, that's easy for you to say. You know, you do this, you do. Trust me. Everybody has a hard road.
You have to embrace those losses as learning experiences. And the people that have never lost are afraid of losing. They're afraid of learning. You're afraid of that feeling. That terrible feeling that you get from losing is so beneficial. It's aided me in so many ways. Like, it's one of the reasons, and also one of the reasons why I talk so openly about bombing on stage. And I do it with other comedians. I always want to tell people, yeah, I'm an established comedian. I've been a comedian for a long time. Let me tell you about like when I was 2 years in or 5 years in or 4 years ago. Like, let me tell you about some horrible moments on stage where it went wrong. Just so you understand, like, those things took me to another place. Because I realized I don't want to ever feel that feeling again. And so I ramped everything up. And then I went back to work and I went over my notebooks and I went over my recordings and I figured out what I was doing wrong and I tried to improve upon it. But if it wasn't for that horrible, sick feeling, that's the same feeling you get when you get tapped out in jiu-jitsu class. Same feeling you get when you lose a martial arts tournament or anything else. Losing is important.
One of the worst decisions a man can make, I can only speak for men, obviously, is to be comfortable. I don't think you should try to be comfortable. I think what you should try to do is try to earn comfort. And if you can get a day off where you've worked hard and you've accomplished goals, that day off will be so sweet. Through difficult tasks, you learn an incredible amount about yourself. And through the fire of competition, you get to understand motivation. You get to understand the resistance that you have inside your mind to doing hard work. You get to understand the rewards of discipline. Like, you don't truly appreciate relaxation unless you've worked hard. And that is the yin and the yang of life. Understanding that you can achieve those goals. It's going to be difficult. You're going to push through the difficulty. And then you're going to understand what difficulty truly is and how much of it is just mental, how much of it is just in your mind, this adversity to difficult task or to struggle. And a lot of people have that. They're scared. They're scared of complications. They're scared of failure. Failure is a big one that people are afraid of, but failure is one of the most important things you could ever have.
Losing in life is so important, whether it's getting dumped, getting fired, losing a game, loss, those feelings where things didn't work out your way. That's important because it lets you know this is the bad feeling that comes when it goes wrong, and you improve, and then it makes the good feelings of victory all the better. And I mean that, in a relative sense, like even getting good at something, forget about victory, like making a terrible book that gets rejected by every publisher and then writing a really good one and people accept it and you're like, I got better. Yes. Like that's feeling.
Interesting. Yeah.
Those feelings of failure are really critical for your motivation. We have been fed this line of horse that you're supposed to seek comfort. And I don't think you are. I think you're supposed to seek lessons, and you're supposed to seek difficult tasks and accomplishments. And through those things and through doing things that are hard to do, even if it's just a fucking 90-minute hot yoga class, this thing that we all have, everyone has, and not just me, I mean everybody that does anything has. And it's like this voice in your head that wants you to do nothing. Your mind has to seek discomfort. It has to seek these difficult tasks. You have to enjoy it. And you have to figure out a way to make your mind enjoy those things. Some people it comes easy and some people it doesn't. Some people it takes a long time. I always tell people the best thing you could ever do is force yourself to a schedule. Just write it down. Showing up when you don't want to show up. Forcing yourself to do things you don't want to, but then reaping the rewards. Discipline equals freedom. And it's true because he's able to force himself to do that every single time. There's no excuses. There's no breaks. There's no days off. It doesn't happen. So because of that, you're not scared. You know that you can keep doing it. You know that you can continue to perform. There's a lot of people that are scared of their ability to do something that's difficult. They're scared of whether or not you see someone who's doing something that's really tough to do and you go, man, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could force myself to be disciplined. I don't know if I could force myself to take that kind of action. Well, if you do force yourself to take that kind of action, you don't have that question anymore. That question, I don't know if I can do it. Well, you're doing it. I think failure teaches you things that you don't learn from success. I think failure gives you an opportunity for self-examination. It also gives you a feeling that is very uncomfortable. And that very uncomfortable feeling helps you grow. And don't look at these failures as like proof that you suck. Look at them as opportunities for growth. Look at them as opportunities to be motivated to do better. Get out there and go fucking do something. Just go. And then in the middle of doing it, it'll become easy. Even if it's not easy, even if it's hard, it's easier than not doing it and wishing that you had done it. So you obviously can do it. Can you do it tomorrow? We did it today. Why can't you do it tomorrow? Just do it. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you. But some people, they get caught in that pattern, and it might be their parents, it might be how they were raised, somebody might have told them they were useless real early on, it's stuck, and they never feel like they get enough reassurance. They never feel like they get enough motivation. And they feel like other people get more. And they look at all these other people, how come he gets that? How come she gets this? How come he's got that going on? And all that's bad for you too. That shit no good for you. What I tell people is the best advice that I've ever heard. It's the best advice I ever came up with.
is that live your life like you're the hero in your movie. And right now is when the fucking movie starts and your life is a shitbag disaster, like every fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he wakes up and makes a blender full of pizza and ice cream, and that's what you know what I mean? Yeah. Those guys where they're like on the brink, they put the gun in their mouth and they put it down to see a photo of their daughter. Pretend that's you. Pretend you are, right now, you're in the part of the movie that starts and it shows you as a loser. And just decide not to be a loser anymore. Live your life like there's a documentary crew following you around and you are analyzing your own behavior. Do what you would want to do so that your kids one day would look back at it and see that documentary and look on it with pride. Like, wow, my dad was a bad mother. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her together. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who f***s his life up and then gets it back together again story. Those are my favorite stories. And the way to do that, you gotta write it down. You gotta think that you are the hero in your own f***ing movie, and then you gotta sit down and you gotta write it down. Write down what you need to do.
Be the hero of your own movie. If your life was a movie and it started now, forget about whatever financial disasters you've had, personal failures, relationship failures. What would the hero of your life movie do right now? Yeah, do those things. We define ourselves far too often by our past failures. We look at our past and we say, well, that's me. That's not you. You are this person right now. You're the person who's learned from those failures. And you can choose to be the hero of your own movie right now. Write down your goals. Write down things you want to improve. Write down things you won't tolerate from yourself. Write down things that you've done in the past that you never want to see yourself do again. And go forth from here as the hero of your own movie. Build momentum. Build confidence and momentum with each good decision that you make from here on out. You can do it. Anyone can do it. We live in unique times. We live in one of the rarest times in human history where you can choose almost all the input that comes your way. Whether it's the movies that you watch, the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, you can choose to be inspired. Do that, and be the hero of your own movie.
When you're alone with your thoughts, you get an idea of what your thoughts actually are. If you live your life just acting constantly on the momentum of other people's expectations, of you wanting to be liked by these other people, you can run into a trap, and you set up a life that you didn't really want. You're trapped in this situation where you have a mortgage, you've got credit card bills, you've got student loans you have to pay, you have a bunch going on that you have to continue to feed, and all that, and especially if you have a family and you have to feed them, oh my goodness, then you're fully locked in. You can't take any chances whatsoever. And oftentimes people make the mistake of getting stuck. And it is just a tactical mistake, just like it would be a mistake if you got stuck on a video. Just like it would be a mistake if you followed a map incorrectly and you got stuck in the woods.
Everybody just wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to sit in the car. I don't want to go outside. It's cold. I don't want to do this. It's hot. Like, you've got to do things that you don't want to do because you show your body that your mind is the boss. Your mind is telling your body what to do, and then you have control. It's hard to be comfortable with yourself, so it's very hard to be comfortable with other people. That's why I always stress with people, like, you've got to accept yourself for what you've done wrong. Do your best, and also find some difficult shit to do, because that gets away a lot of the anxiety that you carry around in your body. A lot of difficult things make regular life less difficult. And that sounds so simplistic, but particularly physically difficult things. Because when you do things that are physically difficult, the strain of making yourself do those things, it's very valuable. It's not just valuable like exercise and fitness and martial arts and running and whatever you're doing that's really difficult. It's not just valuable in terms of like health and the way you look, but it's also valuable for your mind, maybe even more so. Because regular life can be confusing, and little things that go wrong and little problems that arise are exacerbated by the fact that you're not accustomed to dealing with hardship. So creating your own is extremely valuable for you also, not just accepting the nuanced perspectives of other people, but also being able to navigate through this world with some sort of an understanding of just how complex it all is and how weird it all is, and not be overly thrown off by every little dip in the road and pothole that you encounter. It's just hard when you're when you're not where you want to be in life, and if you're listening to this and you're just not satisfied with your position in life. It's hard to think that way. All you want is that thing, but you gotta somewhere along the line figure out how to enjoy yourself. Somewhere along the line, figure out how to just go as hard as you can, but also enjoy it. Try to enjoy it, because that changes the whole tone of the experience. And I think that makes you more successful. I really do, because I think you have more energy, you have more focus, and you collect better energy around you from other people. They feel your energy. They're inspired by the way you live your life and how you treat people and what you do and how you do things. And they want to do a similar thing. They want to do something that makes them feel that way. And they want other people to feel that way as well. And it's got the butterfly effect. It just goes through all the people that are around you.
A lot of people say, "Oh, I just want to they're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves." And the real way to do it is you got to write down what the you want and then go after it. If you decide, I'm going to get down to bang, I'm going to do this, I'm going to run a marathon in less than 5 hours, I'm going to, whatever the it is, you got to write that down and go for it.
The fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
I could have been great. You have to be able to tell your body that this is what we do. And the more you do it, the easier it is, man. I made a video about it today when I was doing the cold plunge. Because it's so much easier than it used to be, but it's still hard. Mm-hmm. But it's just easy because I'm accustomed to the grind of it, because I do it every day. So I just get in there, or almost every day. But it's like there's something to that that's so valuable that doesn't get emphasized enough in our modern day conversations. And it doesn't get emphasized in media. It doesn't get talked about. It's like you have to search for that. You have to search for this idea that struggle is difficult. Getting through things is how you build a stronger foundation. It's how you develop character. It's how the mind understands how to manage difficult situations. Also, this idea, this is a really important one, because people have this idea that somehow I'm 30 years old, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. I'm 50 years old, I should have learned by now. That's all bull. Throw that away. Toss that aside. Like these ideas of numbers that people have in their head, that by a certain age you should stop. You are alive. And if you are alive and if you are thinking, all those numbers that you keep attaching, well, when Einstein was 30, he had shut the up. Stop doing that. That is a waste of your time. And stop saying to yourself, I should be better by now. I'm such a total non-helping thought. What you need to think of is life. You're living, you're alive right now, and if you've made a mistake and you're still continuing to learn and grow, that's all just data. Over time, I've learned that these people, you're not going to fix them. I used to want to fix them when I was young. I used to want to go, hey man, I see what you're doing. Like, dude, don't do that anymore. Listen, just try, just do this and stop doing that and start doing this. And if you just work towards this, you could be successful. And then a week later, the guy's doing the same shit. You're like, okay, right. I'm wasting a significant amount of my energy on someone who doesn't want to waste any of their energy on themselves. People are immensely distracted. So what social media does for them is it gives them a brief rest from their own problems to just look at some drag queen reading stories to kids and get outraged, or some new thing that's going on with some girl that made some crazy video and now everybody's talking about it. Like, it's just, most people don't have much discipline, and they don't have to. And they've gotten through life being overweight and eating processed foods and drinking too much and smoking too much and taking all kinds of pills to mitigate all these problems that they have because they've not taken care of themselves. So they're on anti-anxiety medication, anti-depression medication, and anti-this and that, and they're trying to lose weight, so they're on Ozempic, and that's most people. There's a thing that happens when you do a difficult thing is that you develop more of an ability to do difficult things. And and it's also like it's a daily thing. It's not as simple as like, oh, I used to do difficult things, so now I can do this difficult things. Like, I don't think so. I think you are better off than someone who has never encountered something difficult. But I think there's a reason why fighters take warm-up fights, and fighters, when they're active, when they fight all the time, they fight better. When I was competing, I would be at my best if I had just fought like a week ago. Like if I fought a week ago, I was like, I know this experience. I know this feeling. I've been here before. I was just there.
Yeah.
But if I was like I got injured once and I couldn't compete for like 4 or 5 months, it was weird. Coming back was weird. It was a totally foreign experience. It felt very nerve-wracking. And I think there's something to like forcing the brain, forcing the mind into these difficult positions, into these difficult situations, and so that the mind gets accustomed to that feeling, and then you can maintain calm, and then you could keep yourself in the midst of all the chaos. You can keep who you are.
You got to get better the same way you got sick. You've been living your life, and if you've been living your life with a bad diet or with a bad mindset, or you've been living like blaming other people for your failures, you've got to recognize that those things are not serving you well, and you have to back up and you have to go left. You have to go the right way. You have to figure out a way to get on the right path. And for a lot of people, that kind of change and that kind of alteration of these comfort patterns that people fall into is extremely difficult to do. But you've got to do it. You've got to do it. It's the only way to do it.
Wondering why other people's success or wondering why other people are successful is the refuge of losers. It's a loser mentality. It's a loser occupation. It's a loser practice because you're wondering why other people are successful. Like, who gives a You can say you think it sucks, but to spend time wondering why someone is successful and hating on someone who's successful, it doesn't do any good. It's like, what is that old expression that jealousy is, it's a poison that does the opposite of its intended? It doesn't affect the other person at all, but it poisons yourself. It wastes your energy and time. And everybody's different. Everybody's similar, but everybody's different. And your attitude has a giant effect, not just on your life, but on other people's lives around you. That's the other thing about it. Those I can't catch a break guys, get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't buy it. Because everybody has bad breaks.
Yeah.
I've had a shit ton of bad breaks. But you know what I did? I stayed up and I thought through it. And I figured out what the fuck I did wrong. And then I went back. It's like I've up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it. And I've had a bunch of breaks. Everybody has. But you got to realize when you have those shit breaks what that is. It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through. It's just little challenges. And the people that look at those challenges and go, why do I always have these challenges? They're cancer. Those people are dangerous to be around. They will rob you of your enthusiasm. They don't give you any fuel. They're the opposite of fuel. Like the fuel people, the people that are kicking ass, the people that are out there just hustling, always getting things done. You go and get after it. You don't make any excuses. And those kind of guys are fuel. But those I can't catch a break guys, they're the opposite of fuel. They're just on your fire. They're no fun. The people that surround them are all idiots because only idiots want to be around I can't catch a break guys.
Yeah.
Only the dummies stick around. After a while, even if they're your good friend, you got to be like, bro, you got to fucking stop. You got to stop with all this I can't catch a break bull.
And when you look at your own life and you don't stack up, you're a thief. You stole money from your wife's purse, and you don't want to smoke cigarettes, but you fucking have to. You can't deal with the stress. You smoke. You devalue yourself. You slowly start devaluing yourself. When you look at yourself, you realize that if you were judging yourself, you would judge yourself unfavorably. So no matter who you can't pretend you're the hero of your story. You can be the hero of your own story that woke up today. You can be the hero of your own story that at 40 years of age stopped, got out of bed and said, I'm not doing this anymore. Only by my instincts and only by my morals and my ideals and my mind. And I'm going to be dead honest with myself because I'm realizing this is not going to last forever. And I'm going to get myself in shape and I'm going to eat healthy. And I'm going to do this because this is me now. I decide that this is me.
Find something. Find a thing that you genuinely enjoy, because getting good at things you genuinely enjoy is extremely beneficial for young people, because it lets you know that, like, everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser. At least a young person in the situation I was at. Like, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff, that I wasn't really a loser. I just was someone who was, like, in a fucked up situation, but you could channel all that energy that you have as a young person into something and get better at it. And then all of a sudden people admired me. I was like, this is crazy. So I went from being someone who was incredibly insecure and basically a failure to someone who was really successful at this one thing that was very dangerous, that other people were scared of.
We're all engaged in this weird idea. And this weird idea is that you work and you get a certain amount of money for that, but the money's not proportionate to effort. It's proportionate to your thought process, how you find your way through things, what problem solving. It's basically a puzzle. And some people find an easy path to that puzzle. You invent something amazing, and then you're insanely wealthy. And people say, well, that's not fair. But it's not about fair. It's about reality. There's a thing that happened. And this one thing that this person created, he sold 1 billion units of this thing, and now he's got a shell ton of money. If you want a shit ton of money, you should figure out how to sell 1 billion units of something. And people are like, but that's that is reality. It's an uncomfortable reality for a person with no money and no success and no idea for a product that you're going to sell 1 billion units.
It's a very difficult thing to do. And this idea that, everybody starts the same starting block is total horseshit. And that is something that people who are doing well like to stick in the face of people that really were dealt a really bad hand of cards. The problem with human psychology is that we do tend to concentrate on negative things. It's not healthy for anybody. And the more time you can concentrate on yourself and people you care about and friendships and love and community and your actual interests, real interests. You should have hobbies. You have things you're curious about. The more you take care of your own bullshit, the less you're going to worry about other people's bullshit. And the more you can enjoy things that you're actually interested in, as opposed to spending time cultivating negativity, which is so intoxicating. It's so easy for people to get caught up in this artificial drama.
Everybody just wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to sit on the couch. I don't want to go outside. It's cold. I don't want to do this. It's hot. Like, you've got to do things that you don't want to do because you show your body that your mind is the boss. Your mind is telling your body what to do, and then you have control. Most people don't have that kind of self-control and discipline. They don't have to. All most people have to do is when the alarm goes off, get up, wash yourself, brush your teeth, eat something, go to work. Do whatever minimal amount you have to do to keep that job, and then and the bathroom breaks and whenever no one's looking, look through your phone, be distracted, come home, watch Netflix, go to sleep, repeat. That's most people. So they don't have to do anything because they haven't set up their life in a way that requires serious attention and an objective sense of your perspective and your interaction with humans and the way the world is working. They don't have the time. They have family problems, job problems, their cars, something's wrong with their house they got to fix. But people need a thing to get them going, right? They need a thing.
Right.
They need a goal. They need sometimes the first step is the hardest. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard to take that 1 million step too, but sometimes the first step is the most. There's something about what do I do? They start going over their phone. They start calling people. They don't get out of the house. Like, and there's something about procrastination. It's like, it's painful.
Oh, yeah.
You should be doing things, but you just keep doing it. Whatever you're doing, you have to do it like your life depends on it. And whether it is you're trying to be an author and if you're gonna try to be an author and you're working 8 hours a day plus commuting plus family responsibilities or whatever else you have,
whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. That 1.5 hours a day that you have to write, God damn, you better be caffeinated and motivated. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline. Most people don't have those things. Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something. And to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific. You're not even motivated yourself. Like I want to wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go, come on, man, we're going running. Like I want to see what you do when you're tired. Let me see how you push yourself. Come on, man, get up again tomorrow. Get up again tomorrow. Get up again tomorrow. The next day, get up. Keep going. How long can you maintain a positive attitude? As much as I like to use like the term "that was perfect," there really is nothing perfect in human beings. There's always room for improvement. There's always a shorter path. There's always a quicker victory. There's always new things to learn. And as soon as you start thinking that you've mastered something to the point of an end, like you kind of missed out what it's all about in the first place. It's all about, you're constantly uncomfortable. You're supposed to be constantly uncomfortable. That discipline is a part of the mind, right? Yes. We all agree to that. But so is the ability to perform under pressure. So is the ability to deal with a loss and sort of reestablish yourself and come back feeling better. The feeling that you get of the shame of loss is very valuable, and that's a mental thing. The slide off is the hardest part. Yeah. Like the discipline is very hard, but the slide off, it's so hard to avoid the slide off when you're used to eating bad food and around and staying up late and drinking like all these guys do. Yeah. It's really hard to be disciplined and just to say, no matter what, even if I travel on the road, I got to get workouts in because I can't lose ground. I do everything that I can to put my body and my brain in a good place so that I'm keeping my engine smooth. I'm changing my oil. I'm changing my spark plugs. I'm making sure that it's operating. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but I know that I've done my best to keep it working the best that it can. Like there's this idea of equal outcome. Mm-hmm. Like everyone should have an equal output, but there's not an idea of equal effort. Like equal effort is not a real thing. Love is the most important thing. And that sounds so cliche, but without love, it's all useless. Yeah. It's all useless. Yeah. There's no personal satisfaction in accomplishments if nobody loves you. You're not going to enjoy it. And the more you can spread positive energy, the more people will love you. The more you'll have that community of love. Well, I think the one thing that discipline definitely does help you with is it helps you get things done. And when you get things done, when you actually do things, you have more success. If you have more success, and sometimes a big part of success is just not being lazy and just doing it. Yeah. That's like 90% of it is just showing up. Get there and start working. Like you're not going to feel perfect every day. If I only worked out when I felt good, I'd be a fat. Because there's a lot of days I don't want to do it. It's pretty much the same with everybody that actually gets good at something. There's got to be those days you push through, and they're probably going to be more numerous than the days you don't. And so the benefit of discipline in my eyes has always been that through discipline I get things done. I always say that I'm like the most lazy, disciplined person I know because I don't want to do it. Yeah. But I always do, and that you have to sit down, you have to overcome resistance, and that pro goes to work. And it doesn't matter if you're sick, it doesn't matter if you have kids, it doesn't matter what, you're a pro and you go to work. And that just, it puts it in your head that this is what I do. This is what, and you have pride in that. And you're doing the work. Yeah. And out of that work, gems blossom. Yeah. Little things, but you might have a day where you just write nothing but dog. So what? Show up again tomorrow. And tomorrow out of that dog, flower will emerge. You never know. And that's the only way to really develop your potential 100% in anything. People make those excuses. It just drives me crazy. Because I've seen examples. I've been very fortunate that I have good health. Yep. But I've seen many examples. And I've also been very fortunate that I never got out of shape. I just kept working out my whole life. But I've seen people that are fat as 350 pounds, just barely can get around. And then they decide, I'm going to take control of my health, and then they just do it.
Yep.
They just do it. And even if you just got to walk around a block, even if you walk up flights of stairs, even if you just do a push-up, even if you do a sit-up, just do something, man. Do some body weight squats. Do something. It can be done.
When people ask me, like, why does he do all these things? Like, what is the motivation here? I go, he's on a mental journey that very few people have ever been on, because what people don't understand you, they misunderstand you, or they purposely misinterpret the way you're living your life. You're trying to understand your mind in a way that very few human beings ever get to understand their mind, because you're taking your mind into these terrible, dark places all the time, and you're trying to pull things out of that. You're trying to learn things about yourself and about your potential from that.
That's exactly it.
And that's what people don't understand. It's not determinism that makes David Goggins run harder than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's will.
Yeah.
It's 100% will. His knees are destroyed.
Yeah.
It's only will that just gets you up off the couch if your knees are destroyed and you run a tidy 30 miles that day.
Yeah.
That's not determinism.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. If it was determinism, there'd be tons of those guys out there. Discipline is art. Yeah, I think it is, because it's beautiful for me to see. When I see someone who's really truly disciplined, who like a David Goggins, someone who just like truly maximizes the grind, I feel like there's an art to that.